Hi everybody, it's Doreen or Do 4x4 and welcome back to day 4 of the series Father's Day Cards with the Cricut. I made this card for my husband's nephew-in-law, so come on and join me and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so we're going to go ahead and bring up the supplies for card number 4 of the series. So now, my card measures 9 inches by 6 inches, and I've taken it and scored it in half to make it a 4.5 by 6 inch card. The other thing that I've gone ahead and done is I've gone ahead and inked my edges, and this time I used the Stampin' Up! Baja Breeze to stamp my edges. And we're now going to go ahead and lay down our top layer, and the top layer measures 4 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've also gone ahead and inked the edges as well, once again using the Baja Breeze. So now let's go ahead and tape the top layer to the front of the card. And I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG gun to do that. So we'll get some tape along the edges on all 4 sides. And then we'll get some tape down in the middle. So we'll take the card and make sure we've got it opened out. And then we'll just add this top layer. And go ahead and add that down. And of course I forgot to add my piece on top. So I'm going to real quickly here go ahead and pull this off. We'll see if we can get it off without having to recut the card again. Because what I forgot was that I wanted to go ahead and add this. And actually, I did cut this so that I'm going to go ahead and put this back down again. That's what happens when you're crafting. You have to, you make some mistakes, but then you fix them. So actually, I didn't need to pull that up. So, what I've gone ahead and done, and I've cut a strip of some manila cardstock. That's the same cardstock as what the card is made out of. And I've cut this strip at 1 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've gone ahead and taken it and run it through this little Paper Adventures punch, I guess that's what you'd call it, that I had, and I've had that for years. I don't even know where I got this from. I've had it so long. So it makes these little dots. And actually, Cuttlebug makes a folder, I think, it's called Spot Dots, I believe, that does something similar to this. So I've gone ahead and inked the edges using the Baja Breeze, and I'm just going to place it down for right now, rather than taping it, because the next thing I want to do is make sure that I add my grass. Now, the grass I've cut using the Martha Stewart seasonal cake cartridge, and the handbook looks like this, and this is on page 77, and it's this one right here. So I've gone ahead and laid that out on my gypsy, and I cut that at 2 inches. So using your gypsy, that would be key, let's go to that cartridge, that would be key 42. And it looks like this on your gypsy. So the other thing that I went ahead and did was I took some glue and put that down all over the grass, and then I took some of that Floral Soft, I believe that's what it's called. Let me make sure that I'm saying that the right way. It's actually called Flower Soft, and the glue looks like this. And then the Flower Soft itself I keep it in a container and it looks like this. And you just sprinkle it along once you've added the glue. So that's what I've done to make it look like actual grass. And I'm sorry for the squeaky chair. I'm going to have to get my husband to oil my chair for me, because it makes so much noise when I'm recording. So we're just going to go ahead and take the grass and lay it down like so. And since that's where I want the grass to be, I'm going to go ahead and actually I think I'm going to bring this up just a little bit higher, because I got to be able to add my Happy Father's Day. So we'll lay that down as well, and then put our grass, and then we want to make sure we put our golf club. Now I will be going over the measurements for everything, but right now what I just want to do is just lay everything out so I can measure and judge where I'm going to put things. And I've actually had them laid out on the Gypsy as well, but I like to take it and put it down on the card so I can see exactly what it's going to look out like before I actually start taping everything down. So I want to move this up just a little bit more, and we'll lay this here like so, and I think that's about where we're going to put everything. So now let's go ahead and get to taping everything down. So I'm going to pull up my grass and my golf club. And also I'm going to pull up the Father's Day. And what I'm going to do is place a light pencil line right here so that I know that's exactly where I want my strip to be. Because before I go ahead and lay my strip down, I want to add some brads in the middle of this strip. So now, what I did to get my brads the color that I wanted them, because I did not have any blue ones, is I went ahead and I took some Stampin' Up! Baja Breeze again, and I inked up my stamp. I inked up the brad, and actually I didn't use the Baja Breeze. Let me check to see what I did use. Okay, actually I did try to use the Baja Breeze, but because the Stampin' Up! My classics are water-based inked, the ink did not adhere to the brad. So what I ended up doing was I used my color blocks, or color box inks, and these are pigment inks. And I went ahead and inked the brad using the color box ink. And then I took some ultra thick embossing powder and dipped the brad into the embossing powder while the brad was still wet, and then I heat set it. So then I was able to get it the color that I wanted. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crocodile, and I'm just going to go ahead and I want to put a brad right there. So I'm going to punch out my hole. And, you know, I don't like to measure, so I'm going to eyeball this, and hopefully I'm going to get this lined up exactly even with the other one. Let's hope. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my brad. And I'll add the next one. And we'll just hope that they're even. Okay, so now we can go ahead and tape this down. And they look about as even as I'm going to get them. So let's go ahead and take our ATG gun and get some tape on the back. And I'm going to get some tape around the brad. And it looks like me pressing down took some of my ink off of my brad. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go back and re-ink my brad, and then I'll be back and we'll add it to the card. Okay everybody, so now I'm back and I've recolored the brad in again, and I did find that I needed to do more than one coat of the thick embossing powder. So now I've got my tape on the back, and what I'm also going to do is add just a little bit of glue from the glue gun around the metal brad so we can make sure that we get that adhered down. Let me go ahead and straighten that out, and I'm just going to, because I want to make sure I get my edges down, adhered down. So let's go ahead and now add this to the card. And I'm going to line it up on that faint pencil line that I had drawn earlier. And there we have it. So now we have it adhered down. And it looks like it's up just a little bit here on the edge, so I'm going to take my glue gun again and get some glue down along the edge there. Okay, so now we can go ahead and add our grass. Now, as I said before, the grass was cut from the Martha Stewart cartridge, and it is on page 77, and this is the Martha Stewart let's see, seasonal cake art, and it's the grass right here. And I cut this at, let's see here, this was cut at 2 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to lay that down as well. So now I think for this I'm going to go ahead and use the glue gun to adhere this down. And I'm just going to put it sporadically throughout. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay it down. We're going to put it down right there. And then just press down. And that also kind of presses in the flour soft as well when you press down. And then you're going to kind of shake it and dust it off. Make sure you get all that flour soft, the loose particles that didn't glue down. And I do have some of the grass sticking up where I didn't put any glue, but that's okay. It makes it look more real. So now, the next thing we're going to do is, let's go ahead and add the Father's Day, because we want to make sure we leave enough room for the golf club. And we don't want the Father's Day pushing into the golf club. So, for the Father's Day, that is cut from the Father's Day cartridge. And that's the one that the series, I have been using throughout the series. And it looks like this. And I cut that at 1 3/4 inches. And we'll go to that cartridge. And that is key number 41. So it looks like this. And then I also cut the underlay, which looks like that. And that was also cut at 1 3/4 inches. So I've popped it up on some foam tape. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the foam tape. And then we're going to add it right here in the middle, right there. I'm going to make sure I got that. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit because it wasn't even the way I wanted it. So there. So now we have the Father's Day added. Now the next layer that for the golf club, this I ended up cutting actually 3 times because, as I said before, the Father's Day cartridge does not come with shadow. So I had to do a lot of maneuvering to cut this. And what I ended up doing was, this is key number 24. And it looks like this. So to cut this out, I went ahead and I'm going to bring this up as large as I can. I went ahead and I cut it out full, the way it is for the key number. And then I went back, and let me pull that out. I'm going to zoom back out. I went back and I did a second one, but this time with the second one, I did the hide contour feature, and I hid everything but just the outline of the club and the golf ball. And then I went back again and I cut out just a circle. So like I said, it's a lot of layering that you have to do, or a lot of cutting, because it does not have the blackout feature. So for the golf ball, I took, like I said, and cut out just a circle. I hid everything but the circle. And I ran it through my Swiss Dots folder so I could get the effect of a golf ball. And then this piece for the T, that is part of the cartridge. And that is key number 34. And it looks like that. So I at least got that. So if you don't mind doing a lot of maneuvering and layering and actually cutting out more than one, you can get this effect. So I want to go ahead and lay that right there, and I'm going to pop it up using some foam tape. So let me go ahead and cut out some foam tape. I didn't do that ahead of time, so we're just going to add that to the back of here and go ahead and peel the tape off. And I'm going to place it right there. So there you have the front of the card. And I've also gone ahead and used my computer again. And I'm getting all my sentiments from the Hallmark CD software that I have. And I used this software before I started making my cards with the Cricut. I was making my cards on the computer. So my sentiment in the inside is Happy Father's Day to a guy who's an outstanding father, a terrific person, a great golfer. And then I've signed it my name and my husband's name. So that's it. This is card number 4 of the series, Father's Day Cards with the Cricut. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget to come back for card number 5. Bye.